you had the MTV show Damage Control, which I seem to remember being part of the same block as like Punk'd and Viva La Bam, if I recall correctly. What was that experience like? I think it was like 2 seasons or something.
It was awful.
Wow. Okay.
So it was. I'm very grateful. I can't believe I had a show on MTV. I loved that aspect of it. I think it was really cool. I think the people I worked with were amazing. I think that I'm just have so much gratitude for that experience. I think financially it was great for me. They paid me really well. Um, but at the time, I really didn't have time to do it. Like I was on tour around the world all the time, and I was exhausted, and I had to come back. Sometimes I was on tour, and I had to like. I remember this one time. I think I was in Southeast Asia or Japan or something, and I had to go back and shoot a show and come back to Asia to keep going on tour. And it was that time in the band's career where everything was just so busy and like I said, I'd love to rewind and like be smarter and more adult about it and like maybe drink less, maybe like party less and focus more. But I appreciated the opportunity on every level. But I was so burnt out. And I look back, I don't even think I want to watch that show because I just remember just being like, it was like 4 a.m. calls,
Oh,
and then I wasn't that well experienced at being a host. And sometimes I'd go drinking out the night before and I'd have to wake up and talk to these parents. And like, there's hidden cameras and shit going on. And I'm like, oh my God, I want to barf and my
still
head hurts
drunk. Yeah.
and I gotta go and do a show tomorrow night somewhere else. So it was a tough experience. I don't think I was very good at it. I think I could have put more effort into it and I could have focused more. And when I think back of Damage Control, that's what is my biggest takeaway. But like I said, nothing to do with MTV or the people that were there. The producer, who's still a friend of mine, I see him once every few years. I had a great experience there, and the whole staff, everyone was so nice.
So, as I recall, the premise of the show is that parents would say that they're going away for the weekend or whatever, and you would have hidden cameras on the kids at home to see what they were doing. Is
Yeah,
that what it was?
yeah. So it's basically based on Punk. But yeah, so basically, if you had a friend of yours and you're younger and you're friends with his parents or whatever, or his or her parents, you'd be like, hey, there's a show called Damage Control. We're gonna, we want you guys to leave the house. The parents leave the house and rig up the house with some hidden cameras, which is a challenge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then while the parents are gone, they make crazy shit happen. So it's not like we're trying to catch the kids, doing drugs or hooking up with their boyfriend or girlfriend. It's more like we're gonna leave for the weekend, and then crazy stuff happens. Whatever that may have been. There was just it's all such a blur. But yeah, it was one of those hidden things. And then the kids would freak out, and then the parents would have to like run in, and while I'm like hidden camera,
Oh,
like, hey, it's okay. This is a show called Damage Control. And some of the people were like, who the fuck are you? I don't know Simple Plan. Because I wasn't Ashton Kutcher, and it
right.
wasn't like I couldn't say punked. You've
Right.
been punked, it had
You've
to be
been
something
damage
else.
controlled. Just
Yeah, you've been
quite. Yeah.
damage
Yeah.
controlled. But there was some fun times there. But that was the premise. It was kind of like a punk show, but when kids parents would go away, and then craziness would ensue.